Welcome to another edition of From the Ramparts. I'm Junius Ricardo Stanton. Most of you are aware that this week President Barack Hussein Obama gave a speech quite apropos at West Point, where he called for an escalation of the U.S. occupation of Afghanistan to justify it and as a rationale for the expansion of the U.S. global empire, imperialism. He called up the ghosts of 9/11, of Al-Qaeda, the resident boogeyman that the imperialists and the pathocracy, those criminal minds and the psychopaths who run the country and set policy, have designed to make us think that we're under attack and that there's some need for their ongoing crusade for their God, gold, oil, and drugs. This whole process, Obama going into Afghanistan and Pakistan, something he said that he would do during the campaign, but people got sidetracked by his criticisms of the war in Iran, thinking that he was an anti-war person or for peace. He's not. He is a clunk. He is a puppet, and he's a stooge for the military-industrial complex. He tried to dispense with the notion that what he's doing is a redo of Vietnam. Quite the contrary. On an economic level, in America today will suffer just like it suffered under Lyndon Johnson when he escalated the war in Vietnam. It will result in massive cutbacks on social programs as more and more funds are diverted into the global hegemonic wars that the United States is fighting all over the world, whether it's in Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Somalia, or Colombia. The machine will continue to suck more and more resources as this country dwindles. And I say dwindle because the U.S. economy is worsening. Bankruptcies, foreclosures, defaults, unemployment, homelessness are skyrocketing, and they reach Great Depression levels. We'll get to a point that the Great Depression of the 30s that lasted almost a decade will be referred to as the first Great Depression, and the one that we're in now will be the latter Great Depression. The FDIC is insolvent. There have been over 100 bank failures so far this year, and we're just entering in December. 2010 looks like a continuation, and they're predicting as many as 500 to 600 banks will fail. The private pension benefit guarantee corporation is insolvent. Several years ago, Congress passed some legislation to build up their coffers. They're now bankrupt or insolvent, operating in the red due to the policies and procedures of these criminals. The Social Security Trust Fund has been raided over and over and over again from each administration going back to Clinton and even earlier to balance the budget, just as many state governments are raiding their public employees' pension funds to help balance their budgets. Medicare and Medicaid are also facing major shortfalls as the U.S. population ages and we get sicker due to getting caught up in death styles as opposed to life-affirming lifestyles. What we're seeing in the United States today, in late 2009, in December of 2009, is nothing more than the chickens coming home to roost. The same thing that we've done all over the world, either militarily or through subterfuge and economic manipulation through the IMF or the World Bank, is happening right here in this country, where the infrastructure is crumbling and all the resources are going toward is being stolen outright through fraud and deceit and corruption, or it's being mismanaged as our priorities are skewed and toward war, and all the money is being funneled toward the defense contractors and the military industrial complex, to the detriment of working class folks. So the only people who are going to profit from this empire, contrary to what Barack Obama said on Tuesday, are Wall Street, the big bankers, the international bankers, and the military industrial complex, big pharma, and the lawyers and the hedge fund owners and managers. They're the only ones who are going to prosper. We'll continue to see the depression ripple out well into 2010 and beyond, and there is a threat that the war and the imperialist hegemony will continue, made basically as a distraction to the depression. Do not fall for the okie doke. Don't go for the flim flam, such as the so-called new health care reform. That's bogus. It's not going to result in lower premiums or affordable health care for people, because basically the bills are being written by the insurance companies, the big hospitals, for-profit hospitals, and the drug companies. We are living in the era of fascism, blatant fascism, corporatocracy, pathocracy, where you have criminally minded, insane people running the country. The thing to do is prepare yourself, recognize the situation, do some basic things, be prepared to sustain yourself by growing your own food, using organic gardening, learn how to barter skills and or services with your neighbors or people who think like you, and also remember to view the mainstream media and the corporatist media with skepticism and question everything you hear, even question the material that I present here, and this will give you a better perspective and make it so we don't continue to fall for the okie doke. As always, this is Junius Ricardo Stanton wishing each and every one of you love, peace, health, prosperity, wisdom, but most of all, power. The power to find meaning, purpose, and fulfillment in your life so that you evolve into all that the Creator intends for you to be. Until next time, stay strong.